When Ice Cream was making the rounds and people were getting into Love Life, like 1% of them, there was a very lingering question that many new fans understandably had. Shiki is from Liela, Ayumu is from Nijigasaki, and Ruby is from Aqours. All three are from a different group in Love Life. That's pretty normal for any multimedia series like Project Sekai, Bang Dream, etc. Each group has their own thing, their own vibe, the different strokes for different folks. One of the most fun parts is seeing all these groups interact and the events that can happen. So you can imagine people's surprise when I have to say that these characters have never canonically interacted in lore in the anime, and the only interactions they had were in a mobile game that is now dead. Yeah. For any Love Life fans, this isn't really much of a surprise. For a better part of the decade, these groups were very much segregated, and that was the norm. Muse stayed in Muse territory, Aqours stayed in Aqours territory. The most we got were the mobile games and real-life events that had seiyus from multiple groups. When All Stars was released, it was a really big thing that united all the groups together in a sense, having them interact in not only event stories, but also the main story as well, helping Nijigasaki with becoming school idols. They actually had some pretty significant roles as well, such as appearing during Shiriko's arc. But that's all in the games, which are all gone. I've already talked about it, but Love Life is bursting with different continuities, and even in there, they're hesitant to have groups interact with one another. The most we get are little cameos here and there, and it's only been up until recently that they've gotten comfortable with having cross-group interactions. Like, we'll get a trading card game with all the Love Life characters, but God forbid Shibuya Kana says hi to Hanukkah or some shit. Compare this to any other series like D4DJ or Project Sekai, where some characters from different groups are related to each other, and they just talk to each other casually. No doubt a big part of this feeling of separation is seen in the anime, where it's borderline illegal to get a direct cameo in the series. And to be frank, a lot of people's exposure to Love Life, if it wasn't via the games, it was most likely via the anime. Almost all of the Love Life series takes place in their own little bubble, with references to everything being the same universe, but no direct appearances from the previous cast. Even in Sunshine, where Muse has the most influence, there's no direct cameo, it's mainly the spirit of Muse that's kept in. Now, why is this the case? I potentially know the reason, but I'm just playing it up so I can have some cool build-up for those that don't know. Old Love Life heads can probably guess the exact reasons for why this is the case. In fact, some of you watching might just be the reason why they do this, but I digress. Love Life's history is huge. They have so many groups, so many songs, so you'd think there's prime potential to connect it all to become some world-unifying force that only Idolmaster can rival. I sound like a 2010s fan saying that out loud. Love Life isn't making anyone run for its money anymore. But it is an interesting question, and something that still managed to sink into modern-day Love Life, even if they are slowly getting rid of it. A couple bullet points to start off for those that aren't into the Love Life sphere. Love Life is a multimedia series starring in 2010 with the first group Muse. They started off with magazine panels, poll voting, songs, and 3 years later they got an anime adaptation. They were really successful, then died in 2016 with a new group succeeding them, Aqours. First major point here. Compared to other idol series you may be into, Love Life creates groups one after the other. It isn't like they release a series with multiple groups at the start like Project Sekai or D4DJ, no. Love Life did its best with its resources, prioritizing one group and fleshing it out so it could survive for as long as it did. This simple act of creating groups one after the other immediately separates it from them. It separates them in terms of the environment they were created in, along with the era it was alive in. These are different generations of Love Life, and they really make that apparent. Muse is a relic of its time, both in how it started and how it thrived. I've been doing research for a big video on a certain Love Life thing that many probably know about, and it's taught me a lot about how smart Love Life played its cards in its early years. Sif, the anime, the songs, the voting, all of it was played towards Love Life domination. Those who were a part of Muse during those years probably felt most connected to Love Life, as it was in its prime beta stage if I were to describe it. Not small enough that it was super niche, but also not big enough that you were specking the crowd. Love Life knew and took advantage of this, leading to many of the polls that determined large aspects of Love Life. You really had to be there. Which I wasn't, so fuck me I guess. Muse was big, so when it was cut off in 2016, that no doubt caused a lot of disappointment in fans. And when a certain successor called Aqours appeared its head out, people had thoughts. Aqours' reception has been detailed numerous times over the course of Love Life's history, and now that we're partially past it now, it's been almost a decade, I can probably say this without being shot. A lot of people had a ton of disdain for Aqours. Many were deeply attached to Muse and interpreted Aqours as a replacement for them, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. When you have an idol series that obviously has parasocial elements, many fans, not all I stress, will take a disband very personally and react accordingly. Some were pretty chill about it and were excited to get more Love Life, and I mean shit, good for them, I'm glad they were enjoying it. But let's also not pretend there wasn't a ton of hate for them. It was divisive from what I've gathered, which is very natural. The shoulders put on the Aqours were huge, and there were many ways to go about it, both in real life and in the lore of the series. I'm gonna be flip-flopping both between the real-life events and the in-lore events of the anime, as both are key to understanding when Love Live decided it was best to fully separate each of the groups as their own thing. In both real life and the anime universe, Muse disbands, leaving their mark on both the characters and fans in real life. Aqours' placement in the series, both real life and in lore, is after this event. How do you succeed a group like that, especially quite literally after they disbanded at the height of their popularity? Well, in real life, they took advantage of Love Live's new resources. An anime produced in just 1 year, multiple new singles with animations that were able to utilize better CGI. I mean, you might as well relish in the new profits if you know what I'm saying, sorry. They really put a ton of effort into marketing Aqours though. They had a really strong build up to their inclusion in Sif, and before I go any further, the most cross-group interaction you're going to be seeing the most is from the Sif franchise. They are quite literally one of the few exceptions to everything I've been saying. They aren't afraid of showing these groups next to each other, and it's something that should be praised. I'll dive into it more later, but back on track. If you asked me personally why Love Live is so keen on separation, I'd say it's because of Love Live Sunshine Season 1. I believe that because of this season, Love Live staff thought it best to separate these groups in the future, specifically in terms of the anime canon, aka the one most fans would like to consume besides the games. I've mentioned it a couple times on this channel, but Sunshine was risky with its storytelling. A large part of the plot is focused on Muse's legacy and how it touches Chiga Takami, someone who wants to be just like them. The entire story and the events leading up to episode 12 almost act as an abridged retelling of School of the Project. School closure, the evil student council president, the rivals, it was a formula that many people noticed. Nowadays, we can look back and analyze the plot and see that it was doing this on purpose. The plot is intended to be similar to School of the Project so that when the differences begin happening, it takes us and the characters themselves for a loop. Muse's story is well known in the world of Love Live, and so many people strive to be like them, when in reality, they have to be themselves. Their presence is felt so much in the show despite not having any sort of major appearance. Here's the problem though. If you're already thinking Aqours is a Muse clone and you watch the series, it's going to be pretty blatant in your face. The archetypes are very clear cut despite the heavy tone differences that are present in the show. As a plot device, having Muse involved is an amazing idea and helps push forth the narrative. Emotionally though, that began to set up expectations that weren't intended to be there. The core of Aqours is learning how to separate themselves from Muse and be themselves. It's pretty simple all things considered. But because of the real life aspect of people comparing Muse to Aqours, having Muse simply be present in the show invited natural comparison to them. I mean, the show was doing it constantly. Oh, well, like Muse, this is just like Muse. When you have a lingering force like Muse be present, it's only inevitable that it would perhaps encourage discussion between Muse and Aqours. Which one has the better songs, the better characters? And again, this is an idol series, that's going to cause fires. You can tell Sunshine really wanted to address this because again, I stress, a big plot point is figuring out how to not be Muse. That they can be themselves and still shine in their very own way. That's the message of Sunshine. It did not reach everyone sadly, but it was something that needed to be addressed. One thing people began struggling to realize was that Love Live wasn't going to be associated with just one thing anymore. When you thought of Love Live, you just thought of Muse. But now they want to go bigger. When you now think of Love Live, you're going to think of Muse or Aqours, or both. The fact they had to spread that message in both real life and the anime was a very hard task, and I don't put all the blame on them. You could not win by doing that transition. If you reference Muse too much, you're relying on them too hard and trying to win back the old fans, but if you completely removed Muse, then you're not respecting your elders and what caused your series to blow up in the first place. You see how fucking annoying this is just by simply bringing up another group? Being a multimedia company sucks. In all fairness, that's mostly due to a portion of fans, but that can affect company decisions. I mean, look at Lonzy if you want to see fan outcry. If you're not a Love Live fan, I hope I did an alright job at explaining the pressure when multiple groups are involved in the Love Live series. Even now, Aqours sometimes gets compared to Muse. Do not go on TikTok, it will rot your brain. But that's one of the reasons. Pressure and comparison. Because of the groups appearing one after the other, there's a certain set of expectations that's automatically put onto them. What will this group do differently? Are they going to be Muse 3.0? Can we just bring Muse back instead of these VTubers? It's really weird. Love Live is probably the only series I can think of that has discussions like these. I don't know what it's like for Project Sekai or Bang Dream or D4DJ, but do you guys have wars over this kind of stuff? I mean, most of the groups for those series appeared at the same time, so everyone could choose which one was their favorite and just stick to it. Love Live is just in a very unique situation due to how they operate and create groups. I don't see Idolmaster fans doing this debate shit, so what's up? But yeah, Love Live Sunshine set the precedent in how Love Live was going to reference past groups. Even then, it was too distracting for some, so fuck me, the lesson learned was that we do not show them at all. That's what I believe though. You can totally make a different interpretation. The aftermath of Sunshine and Aqours as a whole has created consequences that I feel that affect the Love Live fanbase and how Love Live has operated for a very long time. I briefly talked about it in my timeline video for Love Live, but I feel because of the whole debacle, Love Live just decided to create pocket universes for each of their series to avoid any backlash or forced discussions regarding different groups. It's just enough so they don't have to directly mention them, but also not too much in which they can just be their own show. It's a very smart decision. It allows the show to be what it wants to be without needing to be held back. Seasons like Nijigasaki thrive off this, not being held back by the past Love Life seasons in groups. It's a formula they do. You're allowed to reference them, but God forbid you directly reference them because that's a no-no zone. And it's not like the past groups are relevant to the plot in any way, so it makes sense they don't make any appearances, but not gonna lie, it seems like kind of a cop-out answer. Do we really need a plot reason to see any of the past members? Can't they just say hi or something and that's it? It creates a ton of missed opportunities, and being frank, I think they sometimes go overboard with making sure everything is separate. It seems Love Life will never commit to, say, showing a Love Life character as an adult in order to retain their high school version they can still advertise and sell merch of. I may be a bit biased coming as a comic book fan, but isn't one of the cool things about establishing a universe or a massive group of characters is having them interact? What kind of fun scenarios could ensue from it, or what kind of impacts could one have by talking to the other? And you Love Life fans may be like, well, that's what All Stars is for, but shh, I'm getting there. Love Life setting up these rules in order to avoid certain discussions is one that very much affects the fanbase today and how we discuss Love Life. Listen, a long time ago in 2019, we had a game called School Idol Festival All-Stars. It was a game designed to appeal to every Love Life fan imaginable. Every group at that time was going to be present: Muse, Aqours, and Nijigasaki. Every single character would get to interact with each other, have their own exclusive bond stories along with main event stories that would have all the groups interacting and doing stupid shit. This was cool, and something that I feel should be emphasized more regarding Love Life discussion. Gameplay was ass, but we're not focusing on that. This was a game that somewhat unified Love Life fans. You could give less of a fuck about Nijigasaki, but if you were a Muse fanboy, you would have a field day with the costumes and bond stories. Different strokes for different folks. I love saying that term. Basically, there was something for everyone. This was one of the few pieces of media that actually had cross-group interaction. It didn't matter if it was in a pocket universe where everyone was the same age somehow, it was just cool. Then All Stars died. Then School Idol Festival died. Then School Idol Festival 2 got announced. And then it died less than a year later. Now we're back to stage 1. The stage where everything is separate. And I'm not just talking about the anime. Love Life is a multimedia company, meaning it has multiple eggs and multiple baskets. No shit, that's what you're probably saying, but keep listening. As Love Life continues making more groups, more baskets and eggs get created, leading to different pipelines where each group is going their own direction. Nijigasaki is getting a trilogy movie, Hasuna Sora is getting real-time stories, Layla is focusing more on Seiyu stuff, Bluebird is getting whatever the fuck they're getting, Muse is getting some new art, Aqours is dead. Are you starting to see the conflict here? Let me repeat a sentence from a while ago. Love Life is no longer known for just one thing. When you thought of Love Life back then, you just thought of Muse or Aqours. But now when you think of Love Life, people now think of Muse, Aqours, Nijigasaki, Layla, Hasuna Sora, Bluebird, the musical, and chances are, you probably aren't into all of that. Each of these series are going in drastically different directions that are far from each other. It's like raising a bunch of kids that all go different career paths. Love Life is now segmented. One fan of Love Life may not be the same as another. One may be more into Nijigasaki, while the other one loves Layla more. That's the reality of it now, and it's been something that's been apparent for a while now, but is way more prevalent today. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, different strokes for different folks, but everything's becoming separated. Not just in the anime, which it has been already, but also in real life, in the fans themselves. There is no game or something that can unite everyone under a single banner. There isn't a mom that can schedule a family dinner that unites all the kids under one house for a holiday or something. That sounds corny as fuck, I am so sorry. There's nothing wrong with a company that creates branching paths for fans to follow, but it does inherently create separation. And nothing has really gone to a level similar to All Stars in terms of uniting us all. Sif 2, for that matter, I know I've been focusing on just All Stars, but Sif simply being alive also provided a sense of unity due to being something both Muse and Aqours fans enjoyed. Is Love Life Mahjong really gonna do anything to unite us all? Fuck no. We're gonna stay in our own lanes and only appear when something happens to resurrect us. And the thing is, I think Love Life knows this, but can only do so much to really stitch us back together. In terms of the Seiyu and performance side, they've definitely done their best with having cross-group interaction in terms of like real life. Multiple members from multiple groups coming together to perform songs, do MCs, and have really cool crossovers. And this is cool, no doubt. It's so fun seeing the spins on songs such as Victory Road. But this is short term, nothing long term. Fans will come together, and then things will go back to normal, with everyone back in their own lanes. As a old Love Life fan myself that saw how things were somewhat united back then, it's kind of depressing looking at it from a general point of view. Those who are into the series for only certain groups will probably be happy with whatever they get, and more power to them. I'm glad they can enjoy that. But getting personal for a second, I really wish Love Life got their shit together in a sense. It's a very sad feeling seeing characters in the Idol series just casually converse with one another without feeling the need to have a disclaimer saying, "Don't compare us, we're all cool in our own ways." I've gone into Uma Musume recently, and honestly, they've done a really good job just not giving a fuck about the timeline, how old these horses really are. A horse character created in 2018 can casually interact with another one that was created years later with no repercussions. That shit is not happening in Love Life. and maybe they don't want/need to, which I'll get into later. It's so crazy that a cross-group subunit was one of the most recent things to blow up for Love Life, and it's pretty much what Love Life is known for nowadays. Like, how in the world does that happen? And I know for a fact that's not because it had cross-group interactions. Let's be serious for a second. Love Life has thankfully taken advantage of the ice cream trend, having more cross-group interaction, but again, this is short term. Things are gonna go back to normal right after. Separated. It was inevitable when Aqours first arrived, but now we're in a state where we have nothing to unify us besides the concept of school idols and the Love Life logo, I guess. Like, damn, this is like a scene in the movie where a group disbands when they don't have something to unify them anymore. I gotta stop this corny ass shit. Before I end things though, I do want to bring up a tweet made by one of my friends, Mimo. His tweet kind of started a fire on Love Life Twitter, and I'm not gonna show any of the tweets responding, but Mimo essentially was venting his thoughts on Love Life content and how he feels it's been lacking in his opinion. There's nothing to really talk about, and he believes the game could help with it. Now, some people disagreed, and some people agreed, but the reasons why some people disagreed is a partial reason this video exists. Many of the reasons people disagreed was that, oh, well, we got this piece of content for this group, or, well, we just got this for another group. In taking into account everything I've said regarding Love Life separation and how everyone is in their own lane. When you realize what I'm implying, it makes perfect sense that some people disagree. With the state of how Love Life is, everyone is in their own lane for their own desires, and what may be someone's desire may not be someone else's, if that makes any sense. Mimo's been a fan of Love Life for a very long time. He's witnessed how Love Life has both been united and separated due to a multitude of factors. He has the viewpoint of someone viewing Love Life as a whole, rather than the individual groups. He, like the thoughts I presented earlier in this video, sees the fact that Love Life and Love Life fans for that matter are no longer united under anything. It's just different groups all around doing their own thing, which may or may not be a bad thing considering Love Life is still alive. Remember when I talked about All-Stars? About how you could give less of a shit about NoodleGirl but still play it for Muse? Well, that still united people. But you remove all of that and what do you get? Nothing. Just a bunch of people in their own zones. A lot of people misinterpreted Mimo's message and not taking his history of Love Life into account, creating a clusterfuck of a discussion. It's something that's done and over with. I don't want to fan the flames, but it was crucial to the concept of this video. For the record, we don't say this stuff because we hate Love Life, it's because we've seen Love Life be at its best before, and we're understandably confused on what Love Life has been doing. I feel like a Sonic fan all over in 2016, goddammit. It is really weird on the rules Love Life has. They can make a cross-group subunit that breaks all the records, but God forbid they even interact once in canon, fuck you. It's disappointing, and I think the worst part is, they can do it. They aren't in the tough spot like when Muse started or when Aqours started. They have enough eggs in baskets that they can manage themselves just fine. Would unifying maybe give them a lot of money? Maybe, but they're probably doing fine right now. There's no reason to unite. At least for now. The different groups they've created will keep growing and attract more people that are into that specific group. Love Life fans who take a look at Love Life as a whole may express disappointment over how the term Love Life fan can mean something unfamiliar to them. Sure, it could have also been unfamiliar back then, but there was common ground in the form of something like a game. You could still be united. And does being united really mean anything? Well, to me and a lot of others, yes. I mean, isn't it cool to have something to talk about with a bunch of people? I mean, shit, look at Uma Musume. Not everyone is a fan of the same horse or the same anime season, but we have common ground in the form of a game. We can still bond over universal elements like getting fucked over in terms of RNG. Remember when you were able to discuss how shitty some cards were in All-Stars or how you got RNG Jesus with your polls? Psh, it didn't matter what fucking group you liked. You bond with others because you understood and knew what it meant. Remember guessing and theorizing what banner was gonna be next, what outfits certain characters would get, complaining about certain events that suck dick? Universal mutual feeling. That is a feeling that is no longer present in the Love Life franchise, and for some fans, they aren't into that in the first place. They might have just been in it for the songs and other stuff. They'll just stick to their lanes, and more power to them. But for some of us, it is a very depressing realization that we're probably never gonna get that kind of fandom again. And this isn't to demonize and make you feel bad for enjoying what you have, no. My ass is happy for the NoodleGirl movies, I'm biased whole shit. But I can recognize something while also taking into account my own feelings and thoughts, and in today's age, we should all be able to do that. Damn. That was depressing as shit. And I'm sorry to any non-Love Life fans who have watched this out of curiosity. I don't know, go watch Ice Cream or something. Just have fun, man. I do think it's important to convey these thoughts because one, free speech, and two, also, you know, someone else could feel the same way. And I want to emphasize that if you did not feel the same way I do, that's perfectly all good. Like I mentioned numerous times, we're into Love Life in any series in general for our own reasons. I'm not going to praise your fun. Go enjoy that new song. Anyway, I don't usually say this, but subscribe if you like the video. I make Love Life videos occasionally, and I am a fan of it, you know, like a general one. I like all those groups, even though I don't really keep up with everything, because I physically can't. And an announcement for any longtime fans, I stream on Twitch now. I've been doing streams already for the past week, but I've finally gotten comfortable enough to announce it. I'm doing some stuff like elaborating on my thoughts on Love Life and certain videos, and I also plan to do some more cool stuff like Love Life tier lists and the sorts, and you know, the usual games. If you're interested in all that, then feel free to check out twitch.tv/NoodleGirl22. I guess if Love Life can't unite the fans, then perhaps I can unify some of you guys under my channel. I'm sorry, I'm not fucking stupid. Alright, yeah, that's all I got.